Hello, everybody, and welcome to AGDQ 2019.
Awesome Games Done Quick 2019 has wrapped up as the biggest one in the history of the event for the third year in a row. After a full week of back-to-back speedruns, interviews, and weird crowd participation memes, they raised...
We have hit our first big goal of $100,000.
We did indeed pass $500,000.
Wow!
And that is $1 million right there.
Our grand total for Awesome Games Done Quick 2019 is $2,394,668.
They did all right, I guess. The result of the show was that they beat their fundraising record for the Prevent Cancer Foundation by over $100,000. But the result of the show wasn't the fun part. Getting there was. So if you missed some of it, and let's face it, since it was a week-long, 24-hour marathon, of course you missed some of it. Here are some of the highlights of the show. When Mr. Deagle and the Master teamed up on the first day of AGDQ for a co-op speedrun of Serious Sam Classic The First Encounter, sure, it was fast. But more importantly, you may never see a co-op speedrun with more friendly fire than this. A large portion of the run consisted of one player shooting the other one in the back to speed boost them through the stage, over walls, or even out of bounds. On land, the damage increased run speed, but some of the most impressive tricks involved shotgun boost jumps, some of which required split-second timing and coordination between the two runners to get the boost just right. That and the other out-of-bounds skips led to some particularly psychedelic moments. And if none of that impresses you, this run also contained one of the most MLG-worthy team-killing shots you'll ever see.
Oh my god, I got him. I hit Sorry.
Castlevania runs are a staple of GDQ events, and this was no exception. VB's run category for Castlevania Aria of Sorrow was a mouthful.
Okay, so like I said, this is a glitchless hard mode all bosses.
But basically, that just meant he wasn't allowed to clip through walls and everything killed him really fast. But those things did not kill him, except for that one time, fittingly against death. But aside from that, he blew through his run in just under 48 minutes, more than 10 minutes under his estimate, even though the final boss fight was a little dangerous. The final section of the run featured some fast, impressive-looking movement, even though his couch jinxed him for a second there.
That was actually really clean.
Oh my god. Oh
sorry,
my god.
Sorry. Oh my god.
But maybe even more fun than the run itself was the glitch exhibition afterwards. After a glitchless run of the game, VB just broke the game completely, clipping into walls, glitching out the shop menu, and forcing Soma to basically slide around the game telling everyone to come at him. The exhibition ended with a text glitch that let VB walk right out of the end credit sequence. A minute later, it became nightmare fuel. Sonic games are always one of the best parts of GDQ, and for good reason. After all, gotta go fast is basically the theme of the whole event. But this race between Joey Baby 69, Clarice, and Zaxxon 96 wasn't just fast, it was incredibly close. It's so worth watching, I don't even want to spoil the winner. Just know that there were multiple lead changes, with all three runners spending significant amounts of time in the lead.
Right now, Zaxxon's far ahead right now, and he's approaching the boss of Chemical Plant 1.
All right, Zaxxon, the first player out of the that beautiful boss, but the other players might made up some time.
They're really close.
To RNG, actually.
What do you think?
So here we are, Clarice, the first one into the Metal Sonic fight.
Clarice and Joey are just about even. Zaxxon's not too far behind.
By the end, all three were in the final boss chamber together, and they finished within 25 seconds of each other, with only a single second separating second and third place. Even if the race itself wasn't so amazing, the movement in each stage was just incredible to watch. If you only catch a single game from all of AGDQ 2019, this one should be on your shortlist. Crankdude only ran 2 games at AGDQ 2019, but he sure made both of them count. His run of Mega Man 02 was one of the opening acts on Sunday. He ran a less common category of the game, hard mode any %. The run was full of dashing, ridiculous boss names, and complete dereliction of duty.
They're trying to take it back, Crankdude. Get him. Don't let him. They're getting away, Crankdude. Oh, he's trying so hard, but it's just not working.
By the end of it, he had matched or possibly even beaten his own world record for the category in just over an hour.
Crankdude, what is your world record?
That's a good question.
It's about 1 hour, 29
pretty close
seconds.
to it if it's not bid.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is a fantastic run.
3 days after that, he teamed up with Andy for a co-op run of N++, a super precise puzzle platformer. The two of them spent the next 26 minutes in perfect sync, aside from the occasional moment of trolling.
Oh my goodness! Oh, the betrayal! Oh, that was so dirty.
Even with those moments, the two of them completed a very clean run, well under estimate. In fact, it was under all estimates.
I think this is the second time I've had Crankdude on this stage, and we might have a new world record?
Honestly, the entire Sonic block on Tuesday afternoon was some of the best stuff of the entire show. I've already mentioned the Sonic Mania race, but Dr. Fatbody's glitched run of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 deserves extra attention. There may not be anybody in the whole show who brought more swagger to his run, and he walked the walk too.
Oh, can you get it?
2.
Yeah, 2.
Wait.
Oh! 4!
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my God!
The run consisted of a constant string of pixel-perfect tricks, which Fatbody pulled off casually on a regular basis. The entire thing was just 20 minutes of high-level execution and maximum charisma.
Decapitation!
In the wee hours of Thursday morning, GDQ's infamous Awful Games Done Quick block began with a bunch of people cheering for garbage.
We're gonna get into some awful games, terrible, terrible video games, garbage, horrible garbage, garbage vomit on fire. I hate it, it's terrible. Come on, stand up for the garbage. Stand up for the bad garbage games. These games should not exist. No, they're abominations unto nature.
It was a long night of complete and utter trash video games. And with all due respect to Virtual Highlights' impossibly low frame rate,
This is the point in the game where we start measuring everything in seconds per frame.
and Trio the Fist inspiring synchronized dabs in the audience, we need to talk about Urban Yeti. This Game Boy Advance game was a perfect blend of bizarre, off-color humor and bad gameplay. The premise is that a Yeti, living in the city for some reason, needs to find a mate, which somehow also lives in the city. Along the way, he will get a job at a soup kitchen, which doesn't actually serve any soup, and enter a discus tournament, among other things. No, none of that makes any more sense in context. The game was just non-stop absurdity, which developed its own running gag where the audience just screamed every time the Yeti's ghoulish face appeared on screen. And runner Pete Dorr even got his own "that's never happened before" moment, when an NPC Yeti riding on top of a car got into a car accident in a cutscene and soft-locked the game.
And unfortunately, I got to put in a password, I think, because this has never happened.
Would you say the game crashed?
You can say this is a soft lock.
There's only so much I can say about this game to accurately describe it. It just has to be seen to be believed. Easily one of the most inspiring runs at GDQ came from Half Coordinated on his run of indie puzzle platformer Semblance. Now for starters, this run started a meme that continued through the entire rest of the show.
Orb!
Orb. There we go, now you can.
But more importantly, Half Coordinated is the world record holder for this game, but he has a very unique playstyle.
But as I said, I'm half coordinated. I have a physical disability called hemophoresis that lowers feeling and coordination on the entire right side of my body. But I still tend to do pretty okay with games regardless, so that's why I play one-handed.
Even though AGDQ listed his run as one-handed, there isn't a one-handed class of speedrun. He runs the game head-to-head against any other two-handed player, and he's proven better than all of them. Throughout the run, a camera stayed focused on his left hand, which expertly manipulated the entire controller. But if you were just looking at the gameplay itself, you would never believe the runner was playing with a handicap. But that's fine, because he doesn't see it as a handicap. And he doesn't want you to let your limitations hold you back either.
I don't run as a category one-handed. That's basically to grab your attention more. This is how I normally play, but I compete against everyone else. And whatever you do, whatever your difficulties are, I believe there is an activity out there for you that you can just be proudly among others. And if I'm wrong, I'll take the blame for that, but you're still worthwhile regardless.
Hey, so how much time do you have? Do you have like just under half a day or so to burn? Great! This Final Fantasy IX run will be perfect for you because it's runs like these that remind you that speed run is a relative term. The FF9 run took so long, it took 3 runners teaming up to clear the game in about 9.5 hours. And believe it or not, despite it being a more laid-back style of run, it stayed pretty entertaining, especially if you enjoy talking about one-hit wonder bands from the 1990s, because an offhand comment about Eiffel 65 set off a frenzy.
Yeah, Amaranth is actually considered human for some reason.
He's a Eiffel 65 Blue Dabba Dee.
Oh, God.
A little more love from the viewing audience. I've got $5 here from RangoFet. I had to donate again just to say I'm also an unironic Eiffel 65 fan. We have an anonymous $5 donation. Hi, this is Google. Why are people suddenly searching for Eiffel 65? There's $10 here from Not Gaunt Nick. I literally listened to the Eiffel 65 Blue album for months straight as a child. We've got an anonymous donation here for, what else, $65.65. Hi, I just want to say that I've loved Eiffel 65 ever since I got introduced to them in the first CD I had as a kid. So Fresh, the hits of Spring 2000, which had their song Too Much of Heaven, along with other great tracks like Boomfunk MC's Freestyler. So happy to learn that there are dozens of other unironic Eiffel 65 fans out there.
I promise there was more to the run than just that, but it sort of stood out, you know?
We just got a $5 donation from iTunes. Why are people downloading Eiffel 65 songs at 5 in the morning?
During Bayleaf's run to clear the darker side of the moon in Super Mario Odyssey, donations sort of tapered off in the middle. That was until one donation called for the audience to join together and donate $5 at the 3-hour mark of the run.
We have a $5 donation from Slurpee who says, "Hey Twitch chat, I heard you were going to do a $5 train at 3 hours. Let's do it."
When that 3-hour mark hit, the event's total donation stood at about $1.85 million for the entire week. Within a few seconds, that number started going up, and fast.
That number has been exploding.
And here's what happened approximately 14 minutes later. Because of that chain of small donations, the event raised about $150,000 in under 15 minutes, helping put them over the top on a record-breaking fundraising effort. Okay, so listen, this video isn't long enough to highlight every single run from a week-long marathon. These are some great moments, but there are so many more to see. Runs of Celeste, Bloodborne, Splatoon 2, and Cuphead also stand out from the pack, and there are dozens of others to enjoy. So what was your favorite run from this year's AGDQ, and what are you hoping to see this summer? Let us know in the comments below. I've been Dean from Curse, and yeah, Orb.
Double orb.